I genuinely, like, I don't want to take the hat off, mostly because it's just such a subtle way to just brag. And it makes the left crazy to see.
You may never hear a better description of what it means to be a right-winger than the one this MAGA woman just gave. It has nothing to do with improving everyone's lives now while working towards a better future for all of us, but rather a team sports mentality where all that matters is your team winning elections.
All the subtlety of an earthquake, the nuance of a plane crash. Enjoy your victory lap, I guess. Ending democracy to own the libs. Sick, dude. You people didn't take this hat off for 4 years when he wasn't president. Why are you now suddenly pretending that this is a new fun thing that you've discovered that pisses people off? We know. Congrats.
Good Trouble on TikTok echoed the same sentiment. Far too many Republican voters fail to realize that they voted directly against their economic interests by supporting the party that advocates tax cuts for the rich and large corporations, cutting social spending programs like Medicare, Social Security, and SNAP benefits, is hostile toward labor unions, and has been on a decades-long warpath to dismantle our education system from the inside.
I will say it does make interacting with you guys in public a lot easier, in the sense that, like, we can choose to either fully avoid having any sort of conversations with you, or adjusting maybe your food order in purple swing states. Keep ordering tacos wearing that hat, for sure. I think that it's a great idea.
Although he doesn't explicitly say it, Good Trouble hits one of the biggest roadblocks we on the left are currently facing. How can you have a level-headed, fact-based conversation with someone either so oblivious to or in complete agreement with the thoughts, policies, and vision for the country that hat represents?
How do you feel after the election?
I was pretty happy, honestly.
Yeah.
I have a lot of values that resonate with the left, but I think the way that they kind of ran their campaign made a lot of people not believe in them. And we'll see how these next 4 years go, but I'm not angry about the outcome.
Case in point. Though we don't know which direction this man voted, the fact he's so unbothered by the implications of a second Trump administration not only speaks to his ignorance of the issues at hand, but a lesser mentioned aspect of voting, societal privilege.
They didn't do podcasts. I guess they tried to call her daddy. It didn't really work out. Like they had too much paid media. Like they spent tons of money on like celebrity endorsements.
Too traditional.
Yeah,
Too old
and that didn't work.
So you're telling me if Kamala Harris had gone on, let's say, Joe Rogan, you might
have 100%.
You might have voted for her.
It maybe would have swayed my opinion. I think she totally should have gone on Rogan. Yeah. Rogan didn't endorse Trump till like the day before the election.
Interesting. No policies, but just, hey.
Yeah, I don't really want to get into policies, but the way that they did their marketing, I think was really poor. They spent way too much money trying to get endorsements where Trump just kind of went on all these podcasts and got millions and millions of eyeballs for free.
Regardless of whether or not you agree with his analysis of VP Kamala Harris not going on Joe Rogan's podcast, voting based on each campaign's propaganda and marketing instead of the tangible policies being presented is the epitome of privilege. But the reality is that there are voters out there, just like this guy, who don't put in the effort to understand the implications of the policies they support, even if they are well-meaning people when it comes down to it, because the messaging they receive somehow resonates with them for one reason or another.
The radical left is calling me an extremist for being a feminist, fighting to protect the rights of women and girls. If being a feminist makes me an extremist or a bigot or a monster, I am totally here for it, because I'm gonna fight like hell for every woman and every little girl across this country to protect you and keep you safe.
This in turn gives way for bigots like Representative Nancy Mace to hide their hatred and disgust towards marginalized groups of people behind the guise of, in this case, protecting women's rights.
Hey everyone, I told you I wasn't going to stop with Capitol Hill. I'm filing another bill tonight that would ban biological men from women's spaces on all federal property all across the country. This fight starts here. It starts now. Men are not allowed in women's spaces, period, full stop, end of story. I'm just getting started. And I've already nowhere near stopping, and the death threats that I'm receiving now aren't going to stop me either. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Come at me, bro. Or bros in this case. I'm not going to take your threats for an answer, and I'm going to fight like hell for women and girls to keep men out of women's private spaces, to include bathrooms, restrooms, locker rooms, changing rooms, you name it. You are not welcome. About to go on Ingram Angle on Fox News talking about men and women's restrooms and locker rooms. Not a thing. I will die on this hill. Not on my watch, over my dead body. Hard pass. Hell no.
So what is this?
This says you can't erase us, Nancy. Well, then you shouldn't try to erase women. I have to say, for any man that wants to be in a woman's restroom, bathroom, dressing room, locker room, absolutely not.
All of what you've just seen is nothing more than a way for Mace to score cheap political points with her base, bully the first trans congressperson elected to office, Sarah McBride, and discredit the existence of trans people. It has nothing to do with improving people's lives and fixing the actual issues going on in our country.
We support Donald Trump and his agenda. That's it. That's it. They didn't go, we support Republicans. That is not what they said. They said, we support Donald Trump and his agenda. Therefore, the mandate and the order from the American people is whoever he nominates and appoints, you better pass him through the Senate. That is your job. You say, yes, sir, and you get it done. Whatever his agenda set out to do, we find a way to do it, and we do it as quickly as possible.
If Donald Trump says jump 3 feet high and scratch your head, we all jump 3 feet high and scratch our heads. That's it. He's got a 10-pound brain. Elon's got a 10-pound brain, and we need to take advantage of that. If Donald Trump says tariffs work, period. Because Donald Trump is really never wrong. Think about it. He's never wrong.
The MAGA elected officials like Green, Mace, and every other Trump loyalist have no interest in serving the people that did elect them. Just serving the interests of Trump and his billionaire oligarch friends like Musk and Thiel.
Did you know Trump was found guilty here of the hush money trial, right? On his hush money trial, he was found guilty.
Yeah.
And so now today, the Manhattan DA has said, you know what, if his lawyers want to file a motion to dismiss the case, they can. And he says he is perfectly willing to postpone his sentencing.
Corruptness at its finest.
You think it's corrupt? The Manhattan DA?
I think it's corrupt to be able to dismiss something just because someone has a position of power. I think should be held accountable just like anyone else would in that position. It's pretty scary, the extent that he's been able to get away with so many things that the average American would be locked up for right now.
It's all one big club, remember? And we ain't in it. Calling out elite people in comedy should be the rule of thumb.
I think Donald Trump's hair is actually another creature.
Yeah.
The hair's like going, good night, Donald. Good night, Donald. There we go.
Maybe it goes out. It goes out and makes money while he's asleep.
There is something about punching down that feels taboo, and punching up is the way to go.
Crack's not really my thing, but if it was, it would be fine if I was on that side.
Wow.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. I'm a very stable genius.
It is very important, the work that the Jordan Kleppers are doing, the work that the Good Liars are doing, the work that our team here at the Turks are doing, and many more.
Used to see these tackles, now they tackle. Oh, head-on-head collision, bing, flag, footballs become soft.
You have Trump doing sound effects for tackles. And the choice could not be more clear. Let's not beat around the bush about it.